Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi,
Good
Martha.
afternoon, Martha.
It's been a long time since I've heard Elvis. Thank you for playing that.
You're welcome.
Well, it's been really great. I see we have a lovely group of people here today, and I haven't met everybody, so why don't we go around the room and introduce yourselves, and we'll start on Marilyn's right.
Doug.
Doug, so glad to have you back.
Darcy.
Darcy, you just keep coming back, and thanks for that.
Thank you.
And Mac?
Mac, and we want to thank you for all your support and help in this.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
Herlinda.
Herlinda, I want to welcome you, Herlinda. My name is Martha. I'm Marilyn's gatekeeper. We're so glad you came today.
Thank you.
Bruce.
Bruce, you're the first time here too, aren't you?
Yes.
And I want to welcome you and say that we're glad you're here and hope that you have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Martha. It's Sunny.
Sunny, you're back.
I'm back.
Well, it's good to see you, and we're so thrilled you came too.
Thank you.
And well, I know John's waiting to come in, and so I'm gonna just bow out of here and just take my memories of Elvis with me.
Martha?
Yes.
Marilyn's desire is to channel for about 1 hour. Whoever's present at that time, I'll tell them that an hour has passed.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's just gonna help her judge things a little better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Good afternoon. I am Saint Germaine, and I am so glad to be here this afternoon and to join with you. I want to welcome everybody and know that we are in for an interesting afternoon. I am hoping that you have come with great anticipation. This is not going to be a talk about the River Nile, but a talk about denial and moving into Christ consciousness. And so I would like to start with the word denial. So many people do not see the denial in their lives. It is like lying to yourself and not even knowing you are doing it. And this projects difficulties into your life, because from a subconscious point of view, you do not know that what you are projecting onto others is actually the lessons that you are to be learning in your own life. And so often it's easy to stay in denial because it's much easier to look at the other person and say they're the problem. If they shaped up, things would be much better. If they just handled their life more the way I think they should do it, that life would be much better for all of us. They aren't doing what I want them to do. Life isn't going my way. And it's so much easier to blame others and to see what their faults are and their shortcomings and to use that as the basis that we're having such a difficult time because of them. Now, in denying our own responsibility for changing our own inner well-being, we live in this fantasy and this delusion that all our problems come from outside, that it's situations that are the problem, the difficulty. You know, if I hadn't lost my job, if my house payments were not behind, I'd be just fine. And there's so many indications of what is going on within you, and you just focus on the exterior manifestation of the material world, not wanting to recognize that there might be a symptom going on in your life which you see, but the actual results are what's underneath and what you don't see. So we're talking about a situation where it's much easier and more comfortable to just stay in our comfort zone and complain and cause our own difficulties by staying there, saying it's other people's causing our difficulties. This comfort zone is often considered the victim zone, and hopefully today we'll help people in this room and those listening to learn how to move out of that victim mentality, that victim cycle, that we've created, that we do not need to stay there. It is a product of third dimension. Third dimension has duality, and with that comes good and bad, right and wrong, and judgment, criticism, and opinions. And in looking at the problem, we do not get the solution, and hopefully today we will move into the solution for these situations. It is important to know that in our fantasy we think that we are creating this wonderful life, but that is just our telling ourselves that what we don't want to hear, we don't want to know. We only look at our only good qualities and think, oh, I am such a wonderful person, I look good to everybody, I do all the right things, I go to the right organizations, I contribute to the right causes, and I go to the right church, and I look good. And the thing is, it's inside that is needing to be changed. It's what you don't know about yourself that is running your life. And so many people do not choose to have the courage to look within and say, this is an inside job that I need to address and find out what parts of me are not wonderfully looking to those people around me. What parts am I sending out that are wonderful, but also what parts of me am I sending out that is needing to be healed, because I want my life to improve and be even of a better quality than I have right now. So as you wake up and to start understanding that yes, there are things inside that are being focused out, projected out from the ego, from your fear, and saying, oh, maybe I can change this. Maybe life doesn't have to be so miserable or painful. Maybe I don't have to have this illness anymore. Maybe my family can come together in love if I have a different attitude and understand more their pain and see it from a different perspective than just my own selfishness. So you see, waking up into saying there is a light in my life and I choose to move into it and let it be the emphasis and center of who I am instead of covering it up with the ego. It's important to know that the ego likes to survive and will present any difficulty necessary for its survival. So it's important to understand that the ego will promote illness for certain medications to be prescribed, or alcohol drinking, other gambling, or other addictions to keep your focus off of the real problem and issues, and the symptoms then get addressed rather than the root problem. So waking up and realizing that we have been deluding ourselves and not looking at some of the real issues, and we've actually been taking our focus off the real issues when we don't look inside, and that it's not the outside world that is running our show. When we change on the inside, we create a new reality around us. So in waking up to this, we start to believe that there is a higher power that can restore the actual vision, the scenery, the reality in our life. It can restore us into the truth of who we are. We can wake up into a new power of love inside of us rather than the fearful ego running the show. And we don't have to react anymore. We can be restored with the love and God's power that's in our lives, that always has been, and that we can believe and even know that we can walk out of our old dilemmas into a new consciousness, a higher consciousness that actually raises us emotionally above where we have been in third dimension. And as you become God conscious in the fourth dimension and start releasing the old attitudes and behaviors, thinking, communication skills, ideas that kept you as intimidated or shy, feeling victimized, feeling the poverty, all those different illnesses that have come along in your life, and you can see where in your life those were created from and can transform them today by choosing to have a higher power in your life be your guidance and your love, your total joy of who you are. when you come into knowing that the universe has always taken care of you, that you are here on earth to learn these lessons of moving from the fear into a higher consciousness of love and joy and peace, and that is your spiritual journey. You wrote the script and you're here, and now you're choosing to find a foundation for your life that is solid and real, instead of the rocky, sandy foundation that seems to just kind of crumble below your feet. It's now time to walk out into the foundation, a solid foundation of a higher power, and know that you have these lessons that you're learning, and through the love of the God within your heart, this divine spark can come alive and actually help you to dispel the darkness, the fears and the resentments, the angers, the dark, dense energy of emotional situations that have been the motivation for your life to protect yourself possibly from harm and danger. And to know that now you can substitute the love of God for that negative, fearful experiences of possible abuse in various ways, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, that the higher power of love will heal all those situations if you make the decision to become a love-based person, replacing it with your basis of the life that you've led from your ego running the show. And that is the journey of spiritual growth. So now, as you're learning to turn your life over to a higher power that is going to be there for you, always has been there for you, and you can walk into the light of God and come out of the darkness that has been the illnesses and despair and the pain that you've been going through, and healing the relationships and financial problems that you've been experiencing. It's time to say, I choose to take away those things that are blocking me off from the sunlight of the Spirit. I choose to identify those things that are keeping me in a childish mode of poor me. Or, you have this problem too if you were and had my experiences of whatever happened. Instead of arguing for your limitations, it's now time to say, I don't choose to keep those limitations. I want to identify them so they don't block me off from the power that's in my life and that's been blocked off. I'm ready to let that power emerge and to be the most important focus of my life. I want to come into the presence of God. So as we identify those things that are blocking and obscuring the light of God in our lives, and sharing those with a trusted person possibly, so that you can just get that energy out. You don't need to mull it over in your head over and over and let it build and create into bigger and bigger difficulties, but to let that energy, in whatever way it works for you, to release energy that's not producing the effects that you really truly want in your life. You want to move out of being an effect and move into cause. So you have to remove that energy. And a simple way is to find a trusted friend that understands you're just cleaning out the old house, the past problems of what you no longer need to keep because they're not producing the results that you truly want. And having a confidant is a wonderful way to be able to express these ideas and let them go. And as you realize that the more you release these old ideas, that you're becoming more and more growing into a maturity that you didn't recognize before. It's like your childish ways aren't necessarily for you to survive anymore. You don't have to cower under the protection of the ego to, so to speak, protect you. You're moving into God's protection. God is there taking care and adding more loving energy into your life, and it's starting to improve. And the more the ego messages are still there that haven't exactly been identified yet, but they'll keep rising to the surface as you find more and more, you'll understand that the more you release them, the better off your life gets, and you'll actually start thinking oh, my life is getting better. It feels good inside not to keep that old energy, that low, dense, dark energy that was actually the lower consciousness of where I was having this life that was so miserable. But I went around with a smile, thinking everybody's supposed to have a smile, and inside I'm dying. So now you can say, I choose to let these things in the past, I choose to identify them and give them to God in whatever way. We've had several exercises in the past years helping people to release these ideas to God. And we'll be doing another one shortly with Archangel Ariel tonight. So you see, releasing them allows your consciousness to rise and rise into where it is lighthearted and joyous and free of the past. And what a wonderful place, because we start to come into reality and we realize God has always been deep inside of us. It was just covered by all this catastrophes or crisis or turmoil of the past, and it never did leave. We're the ones that were hiding away from God, possibly because you thought he might punish you for all the problems that did come about. And you took responsibility thinking it was your fault. And whatever the situations were, now you can see them through new eyes, through the eyes of love and through God's eyes. And you can see a better perception of what was your part and what parts you do not have to continue with, what was your mistakes and how you can change them and become a more mature person today and outgrow those childish ways of handling your life. So you have coming into a maturity of which you have dreamed. And when that happens, you are going to start reaping better results in your life, because you will be sowing more love than you did before, because you are now creating space in your life as the old leaves for more and more love to expand inside of you. That divine spark can come alive and fill your heart and move from your heart into your whole total being and out to others. And as you're doing this, you start to take responsibility for your life in ways that you had never thought about before. You might say to yourself, I am not getting along with a person. There was this difficulty, and now I choose, because I'm a new person, to take responsibility for my side of the disagreement, my side of the difficulty. Maybe I need to repay a loan that has never been repaid. Maybe I need to make an amends, because that means I'm growing up and maturing and taking responsibility from a more mature point of view. And it doesn't matter if the other person agrees that you are trying to rectify the situation, but do it for yourself and to forgive yourself for having had these experiences, because they were necessary for part of your growing up and maturity. And now you're coming out of that lower consciousness into the higher consciousnesses of who you truly are, a God-conscious person that was created in the image of God. And the more high your energy can ascend, the more you come into ascending. And that's what we're here on earth to do, is to make that transition of healing those lower energies which splintered our souls into pieces, or maybe shattered your heart into pieces, so that the love can come back into your life and bond it together, and you can become a whole person, a whole spirit. What we're talking about is moving with our focus off the past so we can be present in the moment. However, some of you might have had very difficult times because of the future worry in your life. So many people in this country at one time went through a Great Depression, and it was a very scary time, and the unknown was very uncomfortable, because if you didn't have money to survive or pay the bills for your family, if there was difficulties in trying to get a job because there was so much of unemployment was involved, the worries that come along because of financial strain or the unknown, concern and worry that what happened in the past is just going to continue to happen in your future. And so we need to release the worries of the future as well as the past, And as you move into being in the moment, the now of right now, now you are in that great reality of the light of God. You are current and you are accessible to God's energy because you've removed the blockages to God's energy in your life. And that light of spirit is shining within you and is expanding. That's what God is energy in expansion. You have removed the shackles. You have removed the armor of protection from more pain of the past. You have removed all those obstacles, and now you are becoming emotionally available for God to actually work in your life. You are doing the work. You are creating a new reality for yourself, one that was only buried because of past circumstances, and they are no longer an issue in your life, and they have left. They are no longer anything but history. You do not have to stay emotionally attached to them any longer. You can forgive people or situations of the past. They played a wonderful part in showing you those things in your life that still needed healing. And some of them could have been quite painful. Some people are making comments at times in conversations, and wow, it's just like a zinger. And you think, oh my gosh, they're hurting me again. It feels like I'm a little 2-year-old again, being told the same old lessons. I'm not good enough. They don't want to hear me. I'm not supposed to do certain things, or I'll get punished, or whatever lessons might pop up in messages from the past. You can identify it so much quicker now. And you can send love to that person because they're giving you a favor to say, that little part of your life still needs love, and it's still important to take care of it, but now you can do it sooner, quicker, and stay in the presence of God. You can feel good when these things happen, because as you send love and forgiveness and even compassion out to those people, your life becomes fuller. And inside you start to feel contentment, and you feel fulfilled, because the energy and spirit of God is filling that void that was left when you did not have God's presence in your life. Now you can fill it up, and your cup can even overflow so that you can help others. In your meditations, you are moving into that higher consciousness, and God can talk with you, and you can talk with God on a personal basis, or whatever your higher power is you describe as. It could be the infinite intelligence, creative forces. So many people have different ways to describe that energy that's of love in their life, and you can get answers. You can have guidance from it, and if it feels good, then you know you're on track. If you feel good, you are doing God's will. If you don't feel good, you aren't. That's your guidance system. So if you're not feeling well, what do we have to do to get back in the moment, get back on track, course correct, and be back where we want to be in the presence of God? The answer is always the same. To send love, and maybe forgiveness if necessary. Give it up. It's maybe something that's maybe not that important to even hang on to. So it's not that the person might have wanted to hurt you. Maybe it was their reaction because they're so used to just jumping in and trying to solve their own problems and heal them, take care of themselves, and in the process you felt damaged. And so it's maybe not intentional even. So to look at it from a place where, my goodness, when I change my focus to seek ye first the kingdom of God, then all things will be added. So it's not that the job is so important. It's not that you need finances for your food and income, but maybe you're wanting that red Ferrari, and that's a want. But all your needs have been met by God. In God's consciousness, God's grace is sufficient. And we're moving into the 5th dimension where we're ascending into God's grace, where those lower, deeper hurt messages from the past will no longer be effective or available because they will have been dispelled from the light. The darkness cannot sustain in the light of God and in the fifth dimension, and we need to clean out any remaining pieces. So look within and see where you still might have some distress, some pain, where a spot in your body might feel some dark energy, where the energy is not moving, it's blocked. Places inside where there's tension, uncomfortability, and in a few minutes Archangel Ariel will come in and help you with those. So be aware of those things inside that still are not quite where you need them to be, quite taken care of, so they're not part of what's your reacting or consciousness, where you really don't want it to be, because now you are, when things are lined up with God, spiritually aligned with your source, you are in the flow of God. And the things that you need, such as finances, housing, friendships that you are trying to mend or create, or family relations that need to come together, maybe even that red Ferrari will show up. But when you are in the alignment with God, then you will attract those good things. You will look out through God's eyes at others and see them through the eyes of God, and know that you and Spirit are all one. You will no longer see the pain of the past relationships you had with those people, or you might have different new relations because you've outgrown some of your old relationships that are in the past were not actually helping you to grow. So now you might have a whole new reality around you that is providing love and support and sustaining you in ways that are just feeling so fulfilling and glorious inside, and you know your needs are being met. And it never was the money to meet your needs, it was God's Spirit in your life will meet your needs. God meets your needs, not people. And this is one of the big lessons, is that hanging on to family and people in your lives, we can love them, we can help them, we can pray for them, but we need to just have our focus and our real attention first on our loving Heavenly Father. The Father is within, you and the Father are one, and all the rest will come together, especially when we move into the fifth dimension, where you will attract all the good things into your life that you have been wanting and looking forward to, all the security that you've been wanting, the self-esteem, the happiness. You'll know that happiness is an inside job, and you know today what to do to make yourself happy. It is not dependent on those around you. So as you move into bliss and the ecstasy and the brilliant light of God that will fill you, and you will shine like a glowing light yourself, and all of the energies will come together in unity and harmony and balance, and you will be not just existing, but you will be thriving in the fifth dimension, which some people call ascension, because you have ascended your consciousness from the lower depths of what some people call hell into heaven on earth. You have ascended into higher vibrational energy, which will attract higher vibrational manifestations. That has always been your birthright. You have always had enough. You have always been enough. And now you can actually let that happen because you're in alignment. So I really would like to encourage you, any leftover issues that are still in your background of old baggage, to identify those. In a few minutes you will get help with them, and to experience that it is time to release the last of those hanging on situations, Go in and get the cobwebs out of that channel within you so you can channel that love to all those around you, because your channel has been cleared and you have become a conduit of love. You have become a creature of love. You are a new creature. So we want to congratulate you for becoming a whole spirit, coming home, healing the wounds of the past so your soul is now whole. And in fifth dimension, we are coming into heaven on earth. Welcome home. And now Archangel Ariel would love to come in and help you with this process a little more. I bid you good afternoon. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your life. Hello everybody, I am Archangel Ariel, and I am glad that you're all here today, and I just love to give blessings, and this is going to be a big blessing for many people today to help you clear out the leftovers of things that you might have been working on for some time. So I want you just to sit back and take a big, deep breath in. Blow out the frustration. And take a big, deep breath in of love. And blow out your stress. And just sit and relax, knowing this is going to be a very productive exercise and help you move in your spiritual alignment into the source of your being. I want you to imagine a long, thin rug, like a hall rug. And I want you to go back in your memory to when you were a very young infant. Maybe as a very young infant there were some distressing things in your family. Maybe your parents didn't get along. Maybe some things happened as you were adopted, or you had to go live with other people for a while. And so you didn't feel like you were with your family. You felt abandoned. All these feelings of rejection, whatever anxiety and fear you might have had at very early ages as being a baby or a toddler, go back for a minute and think of what you still have maybe not thought of for some time that was a problem in the past and you still have just kind of ignored it. I want you to put it on the rug. At the beginning of the rug, lay those emotional, distressful feelings out on the rug. Any experiences, events. And I want you to think that now that you have cleaned out that part of your life by placing those old ideas that still needed to be released onto the rug, we're moving on into being a young child. Maybe you're ready to go off to kindergarten. And your parent takes you to school on your first day and leaves you there. Oh my gosh, the unknown. Here we are at school. What's going to happen? What's my teacher like? Is she going to be nice? Where is my locker? I have no clue how to get into my locker. The people here, they're not kind to me. Maybe they're going to be mean to me. I don't know what's going to happen. And I feel abandoned, and my mom's not here to take care of me. I can't go home and tell my father about this. I don't even know how to talk about how scary this can be. Or how people are treating me, and I just don't feel like I fit in. That they're being mean to me. Maybe they're bullying you. All kinds of things can happen when you're a young child and you have no way to understand it or deal with it. And it might have become such a problem you're afraid to even talk about it or tell your parents how you felt. So put those feelings on the rug, down the rug, you've moved down the rug. Put those experiences and events and occasions onto the rug, the feelings, the emotions that went along. And as you move down the rug, we're coming into being in grade school. And oh my, they're picking the people for the baseball team. Once again, you're the last one picked. And you lose your self-esteem. Nobody likes me. I'm not accepted. I was rejected one more time. I'm not feeling very happy at school because I don't fit in. My grades are going down, down, down because I can't study. My focus is on problems in our house. My friends are not calling because they're upset with me. Or they just don't call because I'm not popular. Put all those feelings of your problems when you were a young child in grade school and just put them down on your rug and release them and let them go onto the rug totally free of who you are. And as we move down the rug, I would like you to think of yourself as a more grown-up child, possibly a teenager, junior high, high school. Oh, these can be difficult years because you didn't fit in with the clique, or the boyfriend you had doesn't have a car and you can't go where you'd like to go. So you're stuck with your parents taking you around. Maybe in these years it seems like, again, you have no friends. Maybe this time the friends that you make, you say something you didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings and they won't ever talk to you again. So you've lost another friend, and you didn't mean what you said. You weren't trying to be unkind. You just spoke what your opinion was, and they didn't like that. You couldn't express yourself. It wasn't safe to express yourself. Maybe it was uncomfortable at home to speak up because your parents didn't want to hear what you had to say. And so you just kind of had to muddle through in the unknown again. How do I deal with my life? No one's telling me. No one's giving me any information of how to grow up. What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to be doing? How do I take care of myself? And you just have to look around and see what other people do, and you just try to be a chameleon and fit in. It's a very difficult stage of life. Sometimes junior high and high school can be very devastating. Not everybody is the homecoming king or the homecoming queen. And you might not have had that opportunity, and you so much wanted to be liked by everybody. Put all those feelings and events and situations and occasions on your rug. And now you've graduated from high school and you have new unknowns that are scary again. What am I going to do for a living? How am I going to get out there and get a job? What kind of training do I need? Can I afford to go to college? If I go to college, will I actually be able to pay the bill? If I get out of college, will I be able to get a job in my field? If I keep working hard enough, will I be able to cover all my bases, my expenses, while I'm trying to get training? Will people want to be my friends? Maybe I can start over and make new friends. They won't know my past. They won't know what a terrible background I came from. And they'll like me anyway. So I'll put all those feelings on the rug. You can take them out, put them on the rug so they're no longer an issue. And as you go down your rug, it's getting quite full. And now you've come into being a young adult. And you might have a family by now. And in that family, you're having to bring home the bacon, as you call it, in your life. You have to bring home the money to pay for all your children's needs, and your wife might have to stay home and take care of the kids, or if you don't bring home enough, maybe she has to go to work. And you have to have a house bigger as the family's expanding. Your car breaks down, and now you need to have expenses for that. And you're not making as much as you want. You maybe need to go back to school. Is there going to be time, opportunity? And can I afford the classes that I need to take to keep up in my profession? Do I have the expense and time to take care of the what my children's needs are for their lessons? They're wanting to have a car. They're wanting to go places and have family trips. Can we afford these things? How am I going to take care of all of this and even plan for my retirement? It's overwhelming. Maybe you've had to leave your family for one reason or another. Maybe there were some separations through death or disagreements. Those problems can be a big worry to people. Losing family is a very hard thing to handle for young children if parents are gone. It's abandonment one more time. So you see, there's so much that has to be dealt with when you're have a growing family, or even when you're on your own just trying to make it yourself and find your niche in the world of your career. Put those concerns and worries and how angry you are about how all this is going on, and put that on the rug. And now it's time to look at your older age. And maybe your family has finally grown, and you were able to somehow get them through college. What a relief. And now you are worried about, will I have enough for my retirement? Will I have enough for the medical bills? Will I be able to stay in my home and pay the taxes? Will I be able to have expenses I need for just enjoying my senior years and being able to go places and travel where I couldn't travel before, and see things that are important to me, and help others with my time and effort? Will I be healthy enough to be able to get to places where I can be of service to those people still needing help, and that I can help them in nursing homes, or read to them, or be company to them? Maybe I can go to a food bank and help at the food bank. Am I going to have enough health to do that and still have time to enjoy my life? My children might have difficulties financially, even though now they're married. Maybe they became unemployed through the financial disasters that are going on. Can I afford to help them? Is that a smart thing to help them? Do I have the ability to help them? All these worries and concerns of, are you going to have the ability to take care of yourself in your old age? Have you planned so that that's possible? All those worries and concerns and fears need to go onto your rug. And you have filled your rug with many things that you might not have thought of in the past, and now still needing to be cleaned out. You see, there was still quite a house cleaning to do inside. And I want you to walk back to the front of the rug where it started. And I want you to start rolling the rug up like you're rolling a snowball. Just roll it up, and it's getting larger and larger as all those things you placed on the rug are taking up space, and so the rug is getting bigger and bigger like a huge snowball, and it's just getting bigger and bigger with all those things being rolled up. And at the end of your rug is God. He's standing there waiting for you to give him all your burdens, all your fears, all your unknown uncertainties, all your cares that are problems, and you roll that rug right into the arms of God. Oh, that feels so good. Your shoulders feel lighter as you give your burdens to God. And the rug is dissipating. The light is dispelling. It's not so big. It's like it's disappearing, evaporating into the light. Where is it going? It's going to be gone. And only the arms of God are left. And God is embracing you. You gave up all your limitations to have it all. You are coming face to face with God. You are feeling good. The light is shining in you and around you, and you're surrounded in the light of God. You feel ecstasy, bliss. It is wonderful. It is beyond your imagination. You have no more worries, no more problems. God has taken them all. You feel heavenly, light. It's amazing. Your life feels different inside. You're not that little child anymore that was so scared as you went through life. Because you know today that God is taking care of you. You made a decision a long time ago to turn your life over to God and let him be in charge of your life. And now you can see what a terrific idea that was, because you have let go of your old beliefs. And inside the word of belief is the word lie, L-I-E, and you don't believe those lies anymore. You're no longer in that box, thinking in the box of dogma or society's rules. You're making your own rules. You're being yourself. You're able to express your talents and go where you need to go and do which is right for you. You're free. Free of the past, free of the worries of the future. You're in joy because the fears are gone. And you are able to be as happy as you choose to be. As you live in the fifth dimension of Christ consciousness, you look out to those around you, and you see the God in their hearts, and you connect your heart to their heart, and you come into a harmony. There's nothing wrong with the people around you. You see only their good attributes, only the love in their hearts, and you feel loved. As you pass love out to them and you receive love back, you merge your energy, your spirit with them, and your energy grows. And you come into community, and the spiritual community is getting larger and stronger and brighter. It is a heaven on earth. Everyone is cooperating, sharing. There's abundance for all. Everyone is prosperous. Everyone is in harmony with themselves and others. And this heaven on earth is what you always wanted. And it's always been there. You're in the great reality. It never left. But your perceptions have changed, and now you can walk hand in hand with God, knowing that the omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence is who you are too. The God within can manifest in your world. And heaven has arrived, and it is like bliss. Welcome home. I am so glad you're here this afternoon. Thank you for letting me share this wonderful opportunity, for helping you to walk into the Christ consciousness, leaving all the old behind, moving your consciousness into that of unconditional love, unselfish love, which is only the truth of who you are. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy this day and the rest of your life. Well, hi everybody! I just want to tell everybody I'm glad you were here today. We just had a great time. I hope that this was helpful for you. It sure helps me. I keep working on my stuff too, and I know that we're all going to be having a happy, happy reunion in our 5th dimension, so I'll see you there. Toodaloo!